So, Ats, welcome to CTALK. Thanks for joining us. The platform created by us retailers for us retailers. Welcome aboard. And I'm sure Kate's got some very interesting questions to ask and how we can inspire other retailers.
Well, I don't know about interesting, but I certainly have some questions. So yeah, we're a couple of weeks into lockdown now. So I was just wondering whether you've seen, what differences have you seen in this lockdown versus the previous?
It's a pleasure to be here, by the way, and nice to be asked as well and share some of these stories. This time, this lockdown it feels like it's more a semi-lockdown because obviously people are allowed to work if they can. Kids are still at school, so we haven't had the madness of the first lockdown. Thankfully, it's more manageable. And obviously, we've all got things in place that are restricting ridiculous amounts of people coming into the store. Everyone's a little bit more understanding. We have got some of the idiots out there as usual, but I mean, I think that's part and parcel of our game, isn't it? So it's definitely busier. I've tried to focus massively on trying to retain as many of the new customers that we all had. And, it's really pleasing. I was speaking to another retailer earlier on this morning by the name of Raj Chandegra. He's got a few convenience stores as well as runs a pub. So you can imagine what he's going through. He's like, his emotions are up and down all the time. But what I mentioned to him was that, you feel like when these new customers are coming back, again, even in this lockdown, and you see the retention that you've created, you feel quite proud of what you're doing. So because you're reacting, I think Paul's been a great advocate of mentioning that how agile we are as individual independent retailers, and the agility that we have to make sure that we supply the customers with what they need.
Correct.
So for this time, I mean, as I say, second lockdown being slightly different. The first lockdown we were buying in all sorts of exotic and wonderful veg and all sorts of crazy stuff because you just wanted to try and give people a difference. But one of the ones I think Kay Patel, who's got Best One stores, coconut sugar, for instance, with the baking craze. I think a lot of his staff were saying that. How many more types of sugar can you find us? So that's all of that madness for me has definitely gone in store. We are sticking with our core and keeping the availability as well as we can, and the interaction that we're having with the customer now is more positive because they're getting what they need. I'm going to a story about an Italian lady.
What's being different this time round? But it sounds like
exactly, Kate. Do you know what? This is what I'm saying. I mean, you can get caught up in the day-to-day working every single day, and it feels hard and everything. But when you're being inspired by the fact that you've got particular customers, for instance, there's this lady called Louisa, a pensioner who comes in now, Italian lady, and she's now asking me to buy in sea bass for her, for instance. To make sure that I keep sea bass in. She's an Italian lady, so we've got this, the Moretti on tap in store. So the supplier of that also does a load of Italian products, and he suggested to get some of these Italian biscuits in. And as soon as she's seen those, she's been over the moon that we've been able to get them in. So do you know what it is? It's literally about communicating with everyone. So I've made it a big effort to make sure that we're talking to the customers all the time and finding out what they may need. Because 650 square foot, I can't keep that much. Everything's fighting for space in the store, and this is a good targeted way that you can achieve the most you can out of it, by doing this.
So, how's your beer on the tap going, and what inspired you to do the beer on tap?
So look, I'm getting a lot of props for this, Paul, and I think they're slightly misguided because there's another retailer out there in Barnes called Sunny.
Yes.
Sunny's got the London store, which was previously owned by Raj Chandegra. So that's his nephew that runs it, and he got hold of this blade system from Carnival, and then off the back of that, I seem to have some form of a profile that people seem to know that I've got something. So it just it went crazy. So then I think Bainesy got one. Bainesy got it. Sandy Baines got it for his Faversham Simply Fresh store. Then Jay Amrit's just as soon as he got it and then spoke to Luca about exactly how we found out about it, it just took off. So a load of us have done it. I think Serge has just done something where he's trialed it because he wasn't too sure. It look, at the end of the day, Paul, for me, that selling a pint of beer is not going after the pub trade.
No.
Selling a pint of beer is the option for someone that's maybe gone for a walk with the family and he's on his way home and he thinks to himself, you know what? I quite like taking a pint home with me. And I've had a lot of that happening. We're selling a keg every 4 or 5 days. There's 14 pints in there. We're charging £4.20 a single pint and £3.50, seven quid for two. And I've been pleasantly surprised at how many we sell. It's not, look, I'm not breaking records, but it's another string to your bow if you want, right?
So you're still offering that experience. Sorry, Kate. So you're still offering that experience to your shopper that they would go to the pub for on Friday night. They're able to get that from your store, which is really good, right?
Look, I'm a beer snob. I won't lie to you. When I have a pint of beer in a pub, I want it to have the head. I want it to be fizzing with the widget, etc. I'm absolutely amazed that a brand like this Moretti Blade has been able to deliver that in a plastic glass. It's amazing. The quality of the beer is totally different to what you sell in a bottle. And all we had was the bottle or the can, But this is just adding another experience for the customer. Exactly what you just said.
Good.
It works.
Sorry, I'm having a technical issue here. It seems to be staying on my phone. So apologies about that.
That's all right.
So just because I'm wanting to put you on the main screen, I was chatting to you earlier about that's what I would like to ask you about is what's going on here?
Waiting for it.
Oh, that's not going to work either. Oh, wow, we really are having technical. I've never had a problem with this software before. Okay, so
I know I watched the last one. It was very, very fluid, wasn't it?
It was smooth. It was seamless. Oh, here we go.
Okay.
I didn't even touch anything. It's all happening now.
Right. So is it going to catch up?
Okay, so what you sent me was. I think it is. So what I was going to ask you was about supplier support for Diwali.
Yeah. And last year.
Have you had any support this year?
Not so much. I mean, not as much as we'd like. Look, for me, my demographics don't suggest that I should be chasing Diwali trade. I'm in Harefield, in the outskirts of London. I don't seem to have that much of that many Indians, I suppose, in the area. But that's not to say that we shouldn't be finding an excuse to celebrate something. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a perfect opportunity. I think I saw a video today where Rishi Sunak is putting out divas outside number 11. I mean, that's amazing. You'd never have saw that in the past. Do you know what I mean? But he celebrated Diwali.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know, but we have another thing that we do. Oh, there you go. There's
See, I told you it's gonna catch up eventually.
Yeah, that was the boost thing. So Ferrero Gate were kind enough to give us that tree to display in store. I think I got the idea of displaying something as good as that from Haj, I believe. Haj always does some really, really good displays in store as well. And he did an amazing one for Valentine's, I think, and I think I caught on to it. And a load of other retailers got in touch with Ferrero to help to get this out. And I think Circle, Amy from Circle and Ollie helped us with this. So that came along, and then so yeah, we displayed it. And as soon as we displayed it, the first thing that people said was, "Oh my God, how many Ferreros are there?" You know, and I thought, well, this is definitely a cue to do some kind of a competition. So we decided to do a guess how many Ferreros in a tree raffle. and they paid a pound for a guest. The guest, I think I had over 200 or 300 guesses, and all the money went to a charity, the winner's choice. And when you find out the answer, how many Ferreros, I think it's pretty genius what Ferrero have done there. So how many do you guys think?
I don't know. 180, 190.
Do you know what, bro? It's Christmas. It's Ferrero. How genius is it? 365 exactly. One
No
for every
way.
day. I swear. Now, why would you not even? So whoever actually made that has thought about it, hasn't it? Haven't they?
Wow.
Isn't that pretty amazing though?
That's good. I like the way you got Santa climbing up the cone. It's really
well,
good.
he was the boost. What do you call it? Elf, wasn't he?
Oh yeah.
Do you remember? And we had to do some funky pictures.
I think I have that one as well.
Yeah, so we had to do pictures. My brother took some pictures of him around the store in different places, and I think I won a little bit of a voucher from Boost on this, and it was pretty cool. He's hanging from a star as well, I think, somewhere, isn't he?
I've managed to get them up onto the screen. Whether or not I'll be able to take them off the screen is another thing.
But these were exciting times last year, weren't they?
So this is going
with these little different ideas. Right now, we seem to be more focused on the customer. It seems, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And how are you finding it? So from how's a customer trends been in the store from this lockdown compared to the last? I mean, last time we was doing a lot of flour, and I hear you mentioned earlier that you're focusing on availability and making sure what you're doing is correct. What's the demand from shoppers now compared to before, and how are you dealing with that?
Well, I mean, we've been lucky with a few trends, haven't we? If you think about it, I mean, we've had twirl orange come back again. Yep. We had twirl orange buttons, the fingers, and then obviously because of so many of the forums that I'm involved with the likes of Pladis and KP, we've had some really good activity from those guys as well. So good support on NPD. It's been good. So there's something different that you can show. I think the overwhelming thing about us as independents is we're always looking for something new in store, aren't we?
Mm-hmm.
And if I think about how crazy it's been, yet how much we've managed to install in store in this madness. So from background stuff that we obviously need, the CCTV being upgraded in my store, for instance, repairing a roof that someone fell through last December in the middle of this pandemic. So that was all kind of work that we needed to get done to secure our store better. And then also making sure that we put the new slush machine to do Strongbow and Monster, for instance. I managed to find the Frio ice cream milkshake machine that I could install into mine by using the catering equipment that they had available. So again, that's a footprint, Paul, and people that know about Frio, it's a massive footprint. So we've managed to be able to do that. I think the one trend that I haven't been able to get behind and I hope to do soon is the flip one. That's the only one I missed in the summer. So yeah, and customers are appreciating.
Paul's got one in his store. It's amazing.
Yeah, and it is amazing. It's an amazing product. So I had a chat with is it Paul Johal, isn't it?
Yeah, Paul Johal. Yeah.
What a geezer! I mean, what a lovely guy. He knows what he's trying to achieve there, and that it's going to be tough during the winter, but they've got loads of activity lined up, haven't they? So hopefully that will push it forward. But it's been amazing how we've been able to put so many weird and wonderful trends in to a store that I used to just concentrate on core, the 80-20 rule, keep the best products in there. But this is drawing people in, and my food to go are drawing people in. So they're the kind of trends that we're seeing.
And how are you now gearing up?
Yeah, I was going to say, is there anything that? Sorry, say that again, Paul.
So how are you now gearing up for Christmas? What are you going to bring in new for Christmas, and what trends you see happening as, like, with the department store still closed? Are you going to gear up for gifting in your store more heavy than what you normally do?
Yeah, I think
well.
there's an I think there's an opportunity there definitely to try and do a load of that kind of stuff. I mean, it's finding the suppliers that will support you again. So I think I was on the phone with Amrit yesterday, and we were talking about, we need to get a lot more people involved through our connections of seeing what they can do, because it's difficult for everyone if they're working from home, etc. They're maybe not as inspired by being able to talk to their own fellow colleagues in an office space, if you want. So they're sharing their thinking about the ideas in their head and thinking, how do I make this come to fruition? I'm thinking that sometimes. But Amrit was talking about toys, for instance. I think if you look online with what Harry's done on a lot of his Instagram stories up in Cardiff, he's doing the gifting alcohol boxes. I think we've got massive opportunity. It's just, for me, it's like, where do I put this, and how can I present it well enough for it to make that impact,
Yeah.
I don't know. Have you done anything out of the ordinary there, Paul, that you can think that would work?
And we're doing what the consumer can get off Amazon and off direct to the house. We've looked at what our customers are saying, and we're looking at Secret Santa gifts, £15, maybe £10, and how can we get sets in the store that fit people's budget, because that's what people are saying.
It's frozen on us.
It looks like it's not only me. Only issues.
There he is.
We and it's what you do and what I'm doing, and we all learn from each other.
I think, Paul, the other one is that
right. We're running.
Kate, I think one of the other ones that I need to utilize better, I think, and I will do, is my Snappy Shopper. So we've got online deliveries, and being able to use that portal to kind of maybe give people options for gifting would be an ideal opportunity as well.
Okay. So there's a lot you're doing in the store, and I think there's a lot from this interview that other retailers, would be inspired to pick ideas and try in their store as well. And I think we're all thriving the same way, right?
I think so, Paul. And the thing about it is, it's all well and good us sharing, which is brilliant, right? This is one of the things I love about the convenience retailers at the minute, is that we're all really, really willing to share. But as much as we talk about the stories and how well they do, my inspiration comes from the responses I'm getting from customers when they come into store. And the response is overwhelmingly, wow, how do you do it? Where do you get hold of this? There's always something new. And if you keep that interest up and use, as you say again, I think it's one of our biggest strengths is our agility and our impact of being able to present something well. You just can't go wrong, and it does work. The kind of sales that we've been able to retain, I think it's been said many times before by other retailers that we would have had to invest a lot of money in refits, etc., to try and retain that kind of customer. 10-15% is the norm, isn't it? When you've spent over £100,000 on your store, for instance.
Right,
it should be 20-25% at that point. But for us to be able to retain as much, I was looking at year-on-year sales, and we're still as much as 50% up.
Wow, that's good. Well done.
At this time of year, it's immense, and it's what's keeping me going and making sure that I'm always looking for the next thing that I can maybe implement well in store, because you can try and do all of it and it just becomes a muddle.
Great stuff.
Yeah.
Well, 50% up is absolutely immense, and congratulations. I wish I could talk to you for longer, but we're going to have to wrap up now. I'll hand over to James to sign off, but thank you so much for your time, and I really look forward to finding out what's going to happen next.
Thanks a lot. I appreciate the time as well, guys.
It's Thanks, not going to work.
Really appreciate it.
Yeah, it has. We've got Paul back in.
Yeah. No, really appreciate your support on this, Hats, and best of luck and happy Diwali.
And you, happy Diwali too. And to you, Kate.
Good stuff.
Cheers, guys.
Happy Diwali. Thanks, guys.
Thanks. See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.